I got you, babe.
Okay, campers, rise and shine, and don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach?
Not hardly. And, you can expect hazardous travel later today with that, that blizzard thing.
And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be and whatever day it might be. According to my calendar, it is Wednesday, March 59th, 2020. Anyway, seems like March is going on forever, and every day's Groundhog Day, hence the little intro there. Anyway, figured I'd try to squeeze in an episode here. It's been almost a month since I did one. Sorry about that. It's hard to get motivated when not much else is going on. Typical quarantine, stay at home, stay safe, all that good stuff that our governor has put into place, and she has lifted some of the restrictions, some of the stupid things, such as you couldn't get garden supplies at Home Depot, even though Home Depot is open. They had to rope off part of the store. That was made no sense to me. Whatever, mowing your lawn. I mean, having somebody mow your lawn, that was kind of stupid. Mowing the lawn, that's a separate activity, I would think. But, whatever. Ain't no big deal. We'll get through it one way or the other. Hope you're doing okay. I know some people are out of work. I'm lucky. Not much has changed here work-wise other than we've gotten busier. So that's actually a somewhat good thing, I guess. But, it's something else. I've never seen anything like this, and I'm sure nobody else has either, unless you happen to be 105 years old and can remember the 1918 thing. But and that wasn't nearly what this is. And I tell you what, we've been wearing out the TV streaming, Netflix and CBS All Access. I did sign up for that and got caught up on Star Trek Discovery and got getting caught up on another CBS All Access original, which is pretty good. I don't know why this Amazon box decided it. Well, she's talking to me now. I don't know why the Alexa, I muted her, muted the microphone anyway, was triggered, but she was. Of course, everybody's listening. Let's see some of the other things that were lifted that weren't really restrictions, I guess. The original order from Michigan governor was misinterpreted, I guess, or should I say interpreted that it prohibited motorboating, a boat with a motor. You could go out with a, rowboat or canoe or kayak or whatever, but you couldn't have a boat with a motor on it. And you could go fishing. And there was nothing in the executive order that actually said that, except for the governor actually said that out of, when asked to clarify. But that was not a restriction. And then when she came out with the revised order lifting some of those restrictions, she mentioned that, now you can use your motorboat. And, there was nothing in the order that said you couldn't before. And a lot of the sheriffs up here in northern Michigan said they weren't going to enforce that anyway because it wasn't in the order. It's not the law, And a lot of the protesters are protesting about, she doesn't have the right to do the restrictions she's doing and all that. Well, yeah, she does, as long as it's in the order. And, they've got all kinds of emergency powers. Now, whether you agree with the restrictions or not, that's a whole nother ball of worms. And, my opinion is I think it might be a bit of an overreaction, but then again, the results are, Traverse City or the Grand Traverse counties had a pretty minimal amount of cases and a minimal amount of COVID deaths. And, rumor has it they were counting just about any time anybody died over anything, a COVID-related death. And like I said, rumors, I don't have any facts other than, just the rumor mongering. The thing I don't quite understand is why this is political. It's not really political. And, President Trump says some silly things sometimes, and a lot of the time, the press just overreacts to it. Sometimes he just says plain stupid stuff, but, who doesn't? I say stupid stuff. None of what he says is the law of the land unless he signs it or whatever. So, whenever he mentions anything, that's the thing I don't quite get. And like I said, I'm not for or against. I don't think this whole thing should be political anyway. But the thing I noticed is, okay, say, the president mentions the possibility of, whatever that drug was, the one they use for lupus and malaria and whatnot, the possibility that may help. And all of a sudden, the half of the country is half of the most of the reporters, but half of the country is, oh, no, that can't work. That's terrible. That's blah, 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 blah. Well, no, he said it might help. Now, if you look at it, that particular drug is used for lupus. And now, like I said, I have no facts, but what I had heard was that people that are on that drug for lupus, none of them have had COVID. Now, that may be a causal thing and not that may not be the reason they don't have COVID, but that is, supposedly. Like I said, I don't know where I heard that and whether it's true or not, but supposedly that's true. And if that is true, then, that doesn't mean that drug caused them not to get COVID. It just means that, just what it says. Nobody that is on that drug for lupus has gotten COVID. But, I could prove to you that car accidents are caused by apples. A high percentage of people that get in car accidents have eaten apples in the last 30 days. Now, does that mean that eating apples in the last 30 days causes car accidents? No. It's just a fact. It's not a fact that means anything. It's just a fact. So, all this political stuff is just, give me a break. I get it. Half the country hates Trump. Half the country doesn't hate Trump. That's just the way it is. And, he's not the cause of this. He's not, I think they're handling it fairly as best they can, federally and in the state. I do think, like I said, it may be a bit of an overreaction, but then again, can't argue with results. It's far less worse than they tried to scare us into thinking it would be. Now, would it not be this bad, or would it not be that bad anyway? Who knows? Like I said, I'm not the genius here. I'm just saying that, I can see that, maybe this is an overreaction. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's helping. Maybe it's not. I do believe that, handshaking as a thing is going to stop, for a while, for probably a good long while. And I get it. People should wash their hands more, and people should be a little more careful about that just for normal stuff. I mean, colds and flus, I don't know. I don't want to keep talking about it. It's just, that's what's been going on in the news. It's something, we all have to deal with. My thing is I don't watch the news nearly as tightly as I did. If something big is going on, I'll hear about it. I guarantee it. But I'm not going to sit here and, watch CNN. Well, I don't have CNN or cable in it anyway, but I'm not going to sit here and watch the news and watch the news and watch the news and not watch the news and then get all worried about it and try to, half the stuff you hear on the news is BS and the other half is probably BS too. So, you're not getting any facts there. You're just getting verbiage and opinions. And, opinions are dime a dozen. Everybody's got at least one. I've got plenty. And like I said, not trying to be political in any way. I do notice that, like I said, though, anything that President Trump says, is wrong according to the media, no matter what it is. If he says breathing air is a good thing, somebody's going to argue with it. And I guess that's the political climate we're in. I think they're all a bunch of crooks, but that's just me. Politics is it's definitely an ugly business. It may be necessary, but it's ugly. And so be it, I guess. All right, on to other things. I have gotten some yard work done, between all the friggin' rain and snow and, cold weather. We can't seem to break out of the 50s. It's been between 30 and 50 now for, at least a month. And I don't see any break in that. I think we may have gotten to 60 a couple days ago, or maybe yesterday. I forget. I don't know. Days all run together. And it's just, can't really do much outside, but when you can, we do. And like I said, I got the leaf blower out and took care of a lot of that, and just, doing little piddly stuff around the house here and venturing out once in a while for one thing or another, but nothing exciting, that's for sure. One thing exciting to me anyway is I did repurpose one of my old broadcast microphones, an ILPR 40, which is a great big diaphragm microphone that had been sitting in the drawer for a couple of years. I did repurpose that and bought a stand and push-to-talk switch so that I could, and a cable to plug that into my HF rig for ham radio. So now I've got a little bit more broadcasty sound on ham radio, and I've been getting on the ham radio a little more often than I had. Found a net, local Michigan Midwest net on 75 meters, which is around 3.9 something megahertz in the shortwave section of the band, and it propagates pretty well around the Midwest. And I found a net, and that's kind of a gathering of people every day at 5 o'clock called the Old Buzzards Net. Or the Buzzards, I think it's called the Buzzards Roost Net, but old is generally the thing in ham radio these days. I said I'm 54, and I walk into a club meeting of any sort of ham gathering, and I'm generally one of the youngest in the room. If that tells you anything. But it's still fun. Get on there, meet people, and chit-chat. And like I said, I find that the bands have been a little busier since all this has been going on. I guess that makes sense. Everybody's kind of cooped up, and the ham radio, if this would have happened 20 years ago or 30 years ago, 20 years ago anyway, the ham radio would have been way more busy because we wouldn't have had Netflix and the internet and all that to keep in touch. So anyway, and I say my work life hasn't changed. It has changed a little bit. Like I said, we got busier. One of the other things that's changed is the rest of the team is now working remotely. Of course, that was the same a month ago. I forget what day. I think we're 45, 50 days into doing that at least. And that's changed. So every morning at 9, 10 a.m., we have a company-wide Zoom call. We're not a big company, so there's 15 or 20 of us at the most. In those morning stand-up meetings, but I get to see all the people that I don't normally work with, all the people from the office in Columbus and in New York. And, like I said, I don't see those people normally because they're in their office and, they congregate amongst themselves, and we don't really have a daily meeting. But now we're having that daily stand-up meeting, and I really enjoy it. It's great because I get to see all these people. We interact. We say, hey, yesterday we did X, Y, and Z. Today we're going to work on X, Y, and Z, talk about things. And I think the productivity has gotten better. Company-wide, things are getting done. And, of course, like I said, we're busier than we had been. I guess podcasting is more popular for people wanting to start podcasts. Now, that may drop off after things start to get back to whatever substitutes for normal when this is over. But who knows? The growth might be might be more permanent. Who knows? Get somebody into podcasting and they might stick with it. But like I said, that part has changed. A little bit. That, like I said, I'm able to see everybody. We get on the Zoom thing in the morning, and usually everybody's running the cameras, and it's kind of cool. You put it in Brady Bunch mode there. But I did get an article, or saw an article from the BBC talking about Zoom and other online stuff sapping your energy. And I have to agree. Now, I'm typically on Zoom or GoToMeeting or something like that during the course of my normal job, talking with customers and whatnot. I'm on that probably 3 to 5 hours a day doing consults and whatnot. And so it's not significantly different for me, but after a day of calls like that, at the end of the day, I'm tired. And it definitely saps the energy out of you. I find that, getting up in the middle of the day and going to do something else, I've been kind of hooked on playing hearts and spades and euchre on my iPad. It's sort of my getaway, or I'll go over to the ham radio and spark up a conversation for a half hour with somebody or whatever. But get up and get out of the room here, and that usually helps. Like I said, today I'm spending my lunch hour talking to you, which is fine. I already had my lunch, and like I said, it's it's difficult, even though, like I said, for me, it hasn't changed significantly. I know for a lot of you that, you may be not working or whatever, and hopefully you didn't have any trouble getting the unemployment and all that, or maybe your company participated in PPP, Paycheck Protection Plan, and you're still getting paid. Well, hopefully whatever's happening, it's working out. But and if not, we'll pulling for you, and hopefully this will get back to normal sometime soon, or somewhat normal. I think our summer tourist season in Traverse City is going to be a little bit less than normal. Cherry Festival's been canceled. A bunch of concerts and other festivals have been canceled. So might be just a strange, normal sort of summer, or an abnormal sort of summer. But who knows? Just might be a good thing to a certain extent. I know it kind of sucks for businesses, and like I said, hopefully a good number of them, or all of them, survive in whatever form. But the restaurant business is something else. Hopefully that gets back to somewhat normal. The restaurants that are open, are doing the carry out and deliveries, and that's probably a good thing. Hopefully that's enough to keep them going. I know we've been doing some carry outs, not nearly as much restaurant food as we would normally have done if everything was normal, but fair amount. And mostly the local places. I haven't been through a drive-through at fast food, but maybe once or twice. Most of the time it's Don's Drive-In is one that we like, and J&S Hamburg on South Airport Road here in Traverse City. They're a local place, and really like them. Bubba's, when they were open right at the beginning, we had some from Bubba's, and I think they're reopening now. The kitchen's reopened for carry out, and the bagel shop is still closed, but I think he's going to reopen that here fairly soon. So we'll see what that's going to look like. But yeah, it's a weird time, and gas prices right now are around $1.50 around here, give or take. I know it's lower in certain other communities, but I guess it's a good time to go fill up everything. I went and filled up the motorhome and kept all the vehicles filled up, but I think as soon as things start to get rolling again, that gas price is going to shoot up at least $1 right away. I think they're going to get that price right back up there as soon as they can. And I guess that makes sense. But if if you got vehicles and places to put gas, you might want to do it when you get a chance. Like I said, I got the motorhome filled up. That was I left it fairly empty over the winter this year, not on purpose. I just never got around to filling it up before we put it in storage, and I got it out, and it's definitely needed some fuel, and I'm sure I saved a goodly amount of money by filling it up during all of this stuff. Anyway, I think I'll call this a podcast, and everybody, stay safe, do what they tell you, even though it might sound ridiculous, and hopefully we'll get back to some semblance of normal soon. I'm waiting for the weather to get above 60 degrees so I can get outside more and do some more walking on the trail and bike riding and yard work and whatnot. I think this year I'm going to definitely concentrate on some long lost projects. I am going to be building an office / studio in my garage, or maybe a outbuilding. I might build and or buy a shed and then finish it out as an office. I don't know, but I've got to get out of this basement, and that's a priority over this summer, because by next winter I want to be in a different office space. And if I get a little 10 by 10 shed, or build a little 10 by 10 room in the garage that's well insulated, I should be able to heat that easy enough, and that's the plan here. Anyway, everybody have a good, however long it is, till the next episode, and I will catch you later.